What's up, everybody? Welcome to the workshop. I'm Luke with Building with Kinfolk, and today we're going to be building something that has to do with Christmas. You know how I know? Because I got my Christmas tree hat on, and the lights are on. That's right. That means big stuff is happening in Christmas land here. We're building a Christmas tree apron box. You know, these are those nice little boxes that go around the base of your tree, around the stand of your tree. Now, what's great about it is on Christmas morning, you're not going to have to go digging after presents, and if you're anything like my family, probably lose like 6 of them somewhere back in the stand and underneath the apron. Plus, it's going to push all the presents out, which will make Christmas look way bigger than it actually is. Score for all of us parents out there. Guys, this is an easy build. What's great about this is I'm going to go ahead and give you directions as if you were going to go out and buy the lumber from like a hardware store, like a Lowe's or a Home Depot. But honestly, if you've got lumber laying around, extra one-buys, you can use that on this project pretty easy. But at the end of the day, what's even better is this is a super cheap project. It'll be cheaper than probably what you'll spend for a family of 4 or 5 at McDonald's, depending on how fancy you are. So let's get after it. Here's what you're going to need. All right, guys, let's go over the cut list. Now, before we jump into this, remember that when I'm saying 1x3 or 1x4, I'm referring to it as it would be from the hardware store. So a 1x4 from the hardware store is actually 3/4 inch thick by 3.5 inches wide. For a 1x3, 2.5 inches wide and 3/4 inch thick. And remember, always make sure you cut a fresh edge off the end of your board. That way you have a true 90-degree angle. It's very important. Don't skip that step. It will mess you up if you're not careful. All right, so jumping into our cut list here, what we're going to need is 8 1x3 by 21 1/4. 8 1x3 by 9s. And then we're going to need 28 1x4 by 6s. All right, now that we got everything cut up, we're going to move to the next part, cragging, pocket hole jigging, you know, making some joints here. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be simple too. This project is so easy. So essentially all we're going to do is we're going to be taking, on these long boards, we'll put 1 pocket hole on each end on the crappy side of the board, if there is a crappy side. And then it's going to go just like this with another piece on the other end. And that'll be our 2.5s. And then these guys are going to be our slat boards that'll go right across the back, and we'll either glue or screw those. It is totally up to you. I'm probably going to screw mine because I have a bunch of little kids here that will break it. Because that's what little kids do. God love them. So we're going to put just 1 pocket hole right in the center. The reason we're only doing 1 as opposed to 2 is, number 1, we're also going to be putting glue there. And number 2, we're going to have these little slat boards that will be running across, and that's going to help keep them straight so we don't have to worry about them twisting on us. So just no reason to put extra money into a project that doesn't need extra money. So let's get after it. Start putting a crag hole on each side of our 21 1/4 inch 1x3s. Now, let's go ahead and move on to building. The cool thing about this project as far as building goes is really we're going to build 4 of the same thing. Pretty simple, right? So the very first step we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make all of our frames. So what that'll mean, you'll have 2 of your short 2x3s on either end, and then you're going to take 2 of your 21 inch 2x3s, and they're going to go just like that. This is going to be perfect. This is going to be beautiful. You get the point? Let's start putting all these together. Make sure you put some glue in there. Give it a little bit of extra strength as well. All right, so now that we got our frames built, woo! Look, it'll go under the Christmas tree, just like this. They should have had this hat for Wilson on Home Improvement. None of this matters. This is not what we came for. We got the frames built. So now we're going to take our slotted pieces, and they're going to go all the way across. I won't be able to pick it up because it'll all fall down, but I'm going to give you an idea. Maybe not. And it's gonna look like that. Ah! It's all falling. Okay, you get the point. So, I'm gonna give you an option, but I'm gonna tell you what I would do. You can just glue these on here if you would like. Got no problem with that whatsoever. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put one pre-drill on each end of these little boards, close to the end, because you don't have a whole lot of give space there. I'm gonna put one pre-drill in, and then I'm gonna use a 1 1/4 inch wood screw on each end to hold this to the frame along with some glue. Now, you don't have to. Again, that's up to you. The reason that I'm going to is because at the end of the day, we are going to have some hinges and some mounts on these, and the last thing I want to have happen is those pull apart when it's not Christmas season, when you're setting up or taking down. So the one thing to know here is you want to make a couple of marks on either side of your frame here. So let's move this out of the way. And on the back of your frame, what you want to do is you want to make a mark right at 3/4 inch. Okay, it's important that you don't go over that 3/4 inch mark. If you have gone over that 3/4 inch mark, you may need to trim down one of these boards, rip it down just a little bit. The reason being is when these all stack together, you'll need that extra space. So, now we're going to go ahead and pre-drill these boards, and then we're going to screw them and glue them down to our frame, and then we'll almost be done. All I got to do then is show you how to attach it all. How lucky are you? Let's make some Christmas magic, y'all. Come on. All right, now you're just going to do that 3 more times till you have 4 of these. Like I have here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they look awesome. All right, so just pause the video. All right, now you have 4. Great job at home, guys. All right, now, how do we put all these together and make sure this doesn't fall over when the slightest little gust of wind comes into the house when Santa's coming down the chimney? I was going to say stocking. He doesn't come down a stocking. That'd be weird. Like, it's not weird that he comes down a chimney, but whatever. Breaking and entering is not a real thing. All right, so the reason we left that little gap on the end is it makes a perfect little connection point. You can see right there. Oh, look how pretty that is. All 4 of them will go together like that. However, we cannot connect the whole thing because then how would we get it around the Christmas tree? So here's my answer to that. First of all, on our 2 opposing corners, we're going to use some little 1-inch hinges. When we're done, that'll allow all this to just bolt up like that, and you can save it till next Christmas. I know, brilliant. Thank you. I saw it somewhere else, so I think. Maybe not. Yeah, I did. I mean, that's the only logical thing to do here. If you're going to save it, you can't save it like this. But let's talk about what's going to happen on the other side. So, when you go to Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever you might go, that's what we have in our area, you're always like, hey, I need one of those little thingies that catches the thingies that you put on cabinets. It's called a double roller catch. It slides right up in there, and you connect them like that. It's kind of hard to tell. Maybe I'll put a close-up video right here. But what we're going to do is we're going to use these, and it's going to go right there, right in the center. If you can kind of see where that's at, right at my finger right there. That way, when we go to, we'll hinge out our 2 sides like this, and then when we go to connect the ones on the end, they'll just pop right in. Isn't that brilliant? At least that's what I hope is going to work. In my brain, that's what's going to happen. So, let's hope that works. If not, I guess we'll modify it in a second. I'm building it for the first time too, y'all. So, big thing is I'm still wearing my Santa hat, and that's all that matters. So, let's go ahead and put our hinge right in the center of this one and right in the center of the next one. And then we're going to work on our double roller catch, or the thingamabob down in the section where they have the cabinet pulls. That's how the conversations between me and my wife go. Normally from me, because I don't, if it wasn't written on the bag, I'd have no idea what it was called. You don't care. Let's build. Let's do this. All right, so now that we got our hinges on, this will fold up pretty easy. Look at that. Store great. All together, we just fold it all up. Bam, it's ready for next year, y'all. If you want to get some heavier duty hinges, you can, obviously. The one thing you got to make sure of, is getting it orientated right. So making sure that, you know, the boards that are running on the outsides, you can kind of tell there, like these two boards, this is my inside section, that all lines up right. So if you put it there, it doesn't look right, flip one section upside down, that's probably what it is. So now we're going to put the little thingamabob on there, the little double roller catch. Look at me, I'm getting smart. Alright guys, you just built an awesome Christmas tree skirt box. And this should fit under most Christmas trees because, you know, I see a lot of them out there. They're like these big tall ones that have the X's on them on the front. They're pretty, but like 13 inches tall. I don't know. I ain't never on a Christmas tree that's like that tall on the bottom. So most of your artificial trees, this should work great for. The only tip I would give you is on your inside of your boards here, I would maybe put like a 1 and a 1 and a 2 and a 2 all the way around, or at least on the 2, I guess, where you know, it's going to disconnect. Guess it doesn't make sense on the other ones, but on those two, so that you know what side goes where, so you know what side is up, all that just may help you a little bit next year, so you're not as frustrated. Because God knows you've already had to untangle all the Christmas lights and put up all the ornaments, and you're tired of Christmas already. So just make it easy on yourself. Last thing you really got to do to this, sand and stain it. Make it pretty, however you want it to look. Paint it. I always say sand and stain, but paint. Do whatever you want to do. And then put it under your Christmas tree. And then whenever you do that, make sure you go ahead and send us a photo. Tag us on social media. We'd love to see that. Building with Kinfolk on all the social media channels. And don't forget, if you want to see the actual plans on this written out, you can check out the link below on the website, as well as a couple of other links down there for products and supplies that you might need. Guys, thanks so much for watching and hanging out with me today. I appreciate it. Had fun as always. Thanks for hanging in the workshop. Until next time, see you later.